everybody, welcome back. Another weekend here, another race weekend with Ames, and this weekend we are at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. I've got my good mate, my bloke over here, Winter. Winter, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back again. I'm enjoying commentating for you guys and watching the races. And yeah, it's going to be a pleasure today. It's a really interesting track. A lot of slow corners, a lot of overtaking zones. Hopefully, we're going to see some close racing.
I hope so. It's looking dry out here today for the GR86 series, which will make for a lovely drive for a lot of these guys. We will, of course, have the Group 3 Manufacturer Series afterward, but you and I are both racing in it, and my brother is away for the weekend, so we're out of commentators, and so unfortunately we will not be streaming it. You might see some highlights from it on YouTube, but you'll have to wait for that.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very different race. We're going to be starting that in heavy rain and moving to torrential rain for the next two weather periods. And here it's sunny, and you'll see the lap times. Right now, Tony's fastest with a 1:41.7. And that's about a similar lap time we're probably going to see in the later race in the wet in the GR3 cars, despite all the extra downforce power and less. I think they're less heavy. I'm not too sure of the weights, though. They might be quite close, actually.
Yeah, they might be close, so yeah, at the end of the day. It'll, yeah, it is wild to see the faster lap times coming up from these cars, but you know, these things are built for a series, right? So I suppose they should be somewhat quick. I'm not going to say fast. But
no, exactly, yeah. Well, these are sort of the gateway series into the GR cars, into the race cars, into the GT series. So this is sort of where people can do it affordably, and it's not such a big risk, and everyone's in similar machinery. You don't need to spend hundreds of thousands or millions on a factory car or something.
Right, so, absolutely not. It's a nice way to be able to get into it. I mean, even the MX-5 Cup cars, I think you can get into those for, dare I say, fairly affordable if that's all you can do, right? Compared to other actual race cars. And you have it blasted and you learn a lot in real life. Obviously, in GT7, you just have to buy a PS5 and the game, and you're all set, basically. So, a lot easier.
Yeah, we're doing it on the cheap, that's for sure. But I like to think they don't have too much more fun than us. But
hey, at least there's at the end of the day, you don't have to pay for real tires, real brakes, real car parts.
Oh yeah, it's the cost of a whole setup per race and more per lap. But yeah.
So we've got about 7 minutes left here in practice, followed by a 10-minute qualifying, and then a 30-minute race here around the Red Bull Ring. So, given the lap times, it'll be a little bit under 30 laps. And
yeah,
we're getting pretty competitive so far. We're seeing Tony with currently fastest lap of 1:41.638. He's currently in the pits while he's not showing up top. But Moose just took that away by about half a second. Well, that's half a second from Delps, I suppose. But I think that's still very quick.
Yep. Did you say 1:41.6 for Tony, I believe? So about a tenth quicker, which is a positive sign. The pace is there for both of them. We don't seem to have Arctic here today. He said he might try and make it. I'm not too sure if he's confirmed yet whether he will, but he's always up there with them. So it might be a bit of a two-horse race if not. But we'll see how the others can do.
Hey, I mean, it might be Delp's, podium again, and which I'm sure he would be happy to get. Saying hello to Tony. Tony saying Arctic's there. He's just hanging out in the pits. Excellent.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Okay.
So we won't be making it too easy for everybody. And
no, well, Arctic can always find the pace and come the race. So long as he doesn't make a mistake, he'll be right up there. But we know Tony's always there to put in the fastest lap time right at the end. And like we say before, it's never unexpected.
No.
Sometimes it's surprising.
He always wants to. He sets that fastest lap and he goes, "All right, we're ready."
Yeah. And it's tough for him because he's got to set up everything, got to set up the server, got to make sure people are coming. Sometimes I see him, he's not even out of the pits, he's not even practicing until the last 5-10 minutes, so you never quite know what the benchmark is that he's going to set, and often he is the one setting the benchmark.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate. Obviously, we're sending a stream up and everything else. He's rallying the troops and making sure everybody's showing up, which so far has been pretty nice, especially having, I guess between you, myself, and Ryan on swapping out on the grid. We've been having at least another spot filled on the grid, which has been nice.
Yeah, it's good to just see the variety in the racing too, and One thing we're going to have to talk about are the track limits through those turns. We were going through there because right now you can push it on the curbs. You try to do that in the race later, and you're going in the barrier. I think I spanned the car around 10 times on that last corner on slick, just from dipping a tire on the curb.
It is very easy.
There
As you
goes
see Marino
Marino.
getting a foot out of trouble there. He saves it, which is nice to see. And yeah, it's funny, even with these cars, that final turn, man, it's so easy to go over, and you get onto the slippery, I guess, painted asphalt or painted tarmac, and before you know it, you're all over the place, and you got a penalty and everything else. Which I meant to double check. Did we took off the track limits penalties for the GR86, right?
I don't know. We did last race. I'm not too sure.
Double check. Yeah, track limits are off for the GR race, but obviously we'll be here to check on anyone, and if anyone's caught abusing to gain an advantage, we'll be given penalty points out, and potentially be you'll be losing a position or your finishing position.
Yeah, and I have to say, from last race, I didn't see anyone breaking track limits. I think, if the car in front's going a little wide, the car behind's going to follow, and at the end of the day, you get dirty tires, you've ruined your next few laps for you. So it's, to a degree, self-policing. If we see anyone straight lining a chicane, we'll say, but I don't think there's really any corners here you can abuse too heavily without getting dirty tires, are there? I don't think there are.
I don't think so, and a lot of them, I mean, there's a lot of corners where you can't exactly cut into it without just straight up losing time regardless. So yeah, I don't think we'll see anybody really looking to take advantage of using those penalties. We've got Ryan in chat.
I realized I said Ryan. I meant Wally there. Sorry.
Oh no, it's
I'm watching it on your screen, not Ryan. I saw this guy read Ryan in the chat, and I thought it was. There you go. I'm still recovering from the weekend.
Understandable. It's alright. It's still Sunday. It's alright. Ryan's up in the air. He's about 40,000 feet in the air, saying hi. He's flying over to Austin, Texas. And yeah, it's Winter's dad's birthday, so of course you're recovering, right?
Yeah, it's my dad's birthday, and my dad used to race, not as a driver, but his first ever race in Formula 1 was actually here at the Austria ring. Different layout back then. The first corner, they used to just go straight on there, a little like Hockenheim, take a right, and the loop was just that much bigger, and then you join back up at turn 3, which is really turn 2, because turn 2 is just a kink, but they call it turn 2.
That's very cool, though.
So, yeah, and actually they got a podium that race, he told me. It was 1973, I believe. I think he was racing there with John Surtees, and I think John Surtees, I want to say it was either him or Collis Patcher came on the podium. So
that's awesome.
He said he couldn't quite remember, but he said that was the first race he was working at. So
some good stories to have, right?
Yeah, and he's always told me it's such a beautiful track. He's always told me it's the most beautiful track they go to. It's there in the Styrian Mountains, and it's just a magical place, which you don't get to see so much on the sim, but you go there in person and you see it all.
I'm sorry, I was just reading chat. Tony Cal, very excited that Pado's car is not green.
Oh. Look at that, it's red. He got very confused. He's hit the invert colors key.
Yeah, this is not a drill. He's going for all the liquid death flavors, which I don't know if you have liquid death over by you, but it's a brand.
Yes, we do.
Water. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Well, glad to see him sponsored. At least one of us is.
Someone's got to be making the money.
Yeah.
Is that?
I wonder what flavor that one is. It strawberry and kiwi or something? Who knows?
Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe some mango. Maybe.
Yeah. Could be. I had the mango one.
Ryan is the one on the screen now. He's only streaming at 160p. And it looks like we'll be starting qualifying here soon. Again, a 10-minute quali. I know last weekend we had a 5-minute by accident. We've been changing things up here and there. As the series has gone on. It's just, getting feedback from everybody. So 10 minutes for sure today, which would be nice.
Pado's going the wrong way.
Pato is...
I like to think he's about to attempt a standing start, because we have standing start races in this series, as with the Manu, and he's just gonna be trying to get his braking point right for turn 1.
He knows where he's starting, which is good. That's good to see.
I don't think he's starting that far back though. That was from about 26th place. But
and he's still.
Yeah, he'll be fine though if he starts from 14th.
That's all right.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Well,
and we're dark.
Underway now. Hey, it is dark. What time?
It's early morning.
Early morning. Yep. Sun is rising. The dawn of the
got a morning
day.
start. Everyone's going to be foot on the pedals. Everyone wants to get out quick, and they want to be in empty space.
And we're going to be inside of each other here soon. Yeah,
there we go.
But I feel like this track is relatively good. Oh yeah, these guys are right on top of each other.
There's going to be some fighting for position here, so.
Hopefully it's a relatively easy track to spread out though, and especially across 10 minutes, I feel like you should be able to find some time.
Yeah, the 10 minutes definitely makes it easier. Before with 5 minutes, you really could get 1 or 2 laps ruined, and as we all know here, you get a penalty. Although we don't have to deal with them at the moment. Before you'd get a penalty, and it would ruin not just 1 lap but 2 laps, sometimes even 3. So and also we should say about the penalties here for the race later on. It's one of the most forgiving penalty lines on the whole calendar.
It is. It's all like they almost expect you to go deep in a few of these braking zones.
Yeah, it's not like Brazil
speed,
where.
Right? Yeah, it's not Brazil, that's for sure.
Brazil, we got to start at the hill. It's pretty brutal.
So let's see. You're not on the grid, which is still something I'm getting used to. Because usually I'd say that you're going to be up there fighting for a podium, if not P1, P2. But now we've got Tony, like the usual suspects, right? Tony, Moose, Arctic. It'll be interesting to see if Delps is able to compete again this weekend like he did the first weekend.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think we have the usual 3, and then we'll see how Delps can do. I know there were some car issues that gave him a bit of pace before, but he's not slow. He's definitely been quick, and he's definitely going to be fighting for the best of the rest there with probably Marino and whoever else can move up the grid. I know Shino, not a veteran as he's called here, he's always rising. He's always finding speed the whole way through the race. So
yeah,
we had to keep an eye out for him.
That's exactly what was on my mind as well. I think Marino for sure can be up there as long as he doesn't get entangled in any mistakes or any fights that might be a detriment to him. Gino, like you said, seems to be someone who's gaining pace and can be up there and fighting for the best of the rest, which is good to see. And again, I think we have a pretty solid grid here where obviously the lap times will tell at the end of qualifying, but everyone seems to be pretty close. We have like the top 3, top 4 that are close together, and then basically 5 through 9, 5 through 10 seem to be really, really close, even sometimes beyond that point, right?
Yeah, and just the makeup of the track is so fun. You got these long straights, and then you have slow corners where they're traction zones. So people do sort of throw it up the inside a little more safely than some tracks, and so you're going to see people going for moves that maybe you wouldn't see elsewhere. And you're going to have position changes hopefully, and also just hopefully no one goes off.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what they set down as their base laps. We're getting around the end of the second lap now, so we should see some lap times starting to go up, I believe.
Yes,
is that Tony's first lap time, a 41.8? I believe the quickest was at a 41.5 in practice?
Yeah, that's what we saw, 145 from Moose in practice.
So Moose goes, there's a 140. So there's a 41.5 from Arctic, and the split between them very close. They're within 0.2 of a second, and Moose is ever so slightly off that pace. But
yeah, but I'm sure they've got a few more laps in them. So, and Moose also getting a bit of a tow from Delps right now.
He is, but he's also going to get stuck behind him, I think. We'll see.
Time? Let's see. Delps had a 142. Yeah, so Delps, I'm sure, was going to be looking to break that 141. He's awfully close, so.
Yeah, if he can get into the 41s, 4th place might be his. It's going to be a battle to see who can get their lap times down first.
Yeah, even from that 142, look at the first lap done for Shino was 142, a high 142, so he's almost a second behind.
Yeah. And I saw a bit of a scuffle behind him, so there might have been a couple cars there holding each other up. I know Demon looks like he's lost a place to Crispy there in the order, so maybe he dropped back, maybe he had a moment. It looked like a car had a moment.
Yeah.
But Demon, he wasn't very happy with his performance last weekend, and I know he's going to be trying to do better, and we know he can be there in 5th or 6th place too, and or higher. And,
yeah, he absolutely can.
And later on, it's really going to be probably won by whoever doesn't make a mistake. But we'll see.
That, right? We're coming around.
Especially for the manufacturer race. But
let's see here. We got a few guys coming across the start-finish line once again. They're popping up on the screen. Tony Cow with a 141.4, now holding the fastest lap. But we got a few more coming through. Moose with a 141.7, and Arctic a 141.0.
Ooh, that is quick.
He had quite the edge for Tony Cow.
Ardix found how to use the curbs. He is not even on the Mastro there on the left tire. So.
No.
But I think that's okay. I think normally it's the curb there.
Yes.
And like we said, you run too wide there, you get dirty tires, so it's not worth it. And
no, that is quite rapid though. It'll be interesting to see how this progresses, if he's able to put up even faster time or.
Yeah.
Tony Cow.
And he's using all the track and more. That would be a 1 second penalty there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Over the sausage curb, but it's okay. I think. I mean, anyone's welcome to protest it after the race, but I wouldn't protest that.
I wouldn't either. And we see Tony Cow maybe falling behind a little bit, giving room. He wants to see exactly what Arctic's doing. He's gonna be maybe following some of his lines through this next lap, just to see exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you put in a good lap you're happy with, you can just go back to the pits and spectate. If I was racing, I'd probably be spectating Arctic. Just see what he's doing, and then, so long as you can get in the top 4, it might be worth your time just doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially when they're that much ahead of you.
Yeah, it's almost, they're all saying, well, maybe I'll just take what I can get right now. We see Delps has a moment, he gets on the slip.
Oh, no. Yellow flag.
Green and, yellow flag.
Oh, no. That was impeding.
Well, I don't think Tony was on a fast lap, but yeah, that would have been in a race for sure.
No, but it might have taken his speed down for the start of his flying lap, which won't be his last flying lap. Shino's, I think, done his fastest lap, but still not quick enough to beat Delps.
No, but like we anticipated, awfully close to Marino. Marino and Shino will be having some fights, it looks like, and if they can keep up with Delps may end up again in no man's land. If he's a bit off the pace from Moose ahead of him, and if he can try and hold on to that, hold on with the top 3. I'm sure he's going to try to maybe create a gap between himself and Shino, but 3/10 off the pace, I'm not too sure.
No, and I'd love to see Marino, if he finishes here, be aggressive with Shino at the start. Nothing unfair, but this is a track where you really can fight for position, especially when we're in the dry. There's a very wide track. These are very skinny cars.
Mm-hmm.
You can fit 4 or 5 cars side by side here.
Yeah, this is a good combination for those to be really aggressive, but I mean, you want to be aggressive, but also respectful, I suppose. Is a good
I mean, you can throw it up the inside and not even come close to hitting each other. So people are going to be doing some very defensive lines, I think. Maybe like some of the ones we've seen at Daytona. But Tony's a bit wide there.
Well, let's see.
I wonder if you get dirty tires from that. We'll see how his braking is for T1, because that was a slow lap for him.
Yep.
But we're looking like this might be the last lap he gets in, I think. Yeah, this will be the last lap. Yeah, so everyone crossing the line here, they're going to have 1 lap left. Arctic might have 2. He might just about make 2, but I don't think Arctic needs them.
No, I don't think so. He's a 410.
And look at the consistency there. 41's flat, 41 flat, 41.29, and this lap he's got a purple for a sector 2, and it looks like Moose and Tony are going wide there as well. So like we said, it evens itself out. When other people see others doing it, they just follow the line.
Yeah, and again, it's like we said earlier. I don't think it's a case where there will be anyone you know, if you go too far off the line, you're going to end up with the gravel. You're going to end up just going slower overall, or you'll get dirty tires. So, again, I don't think it's anything where we have to worry about anyone abusing these, for instance.
Well, the last corner is obviously not a corner you want to go wide on when you go in the gravel. The corner after it, I mean, it's hard to say what Arctic's doing is not optimal because he's so much quicker than everyone, but I've always felt that Astro on the outside there in particular is very slippery, but maybe he's using it to help rotate the car into the corner.
That's a possibility, and we just saw Tony having at the moment losing the rear, but he's managed to catch it. Unfortunately for him, that's probably going to be his lap, and it's final lap for everyone here. Arctic's going to be crossing the line. Interested to see if he can improve at all, or if his 141.
I think he might be close. No, he's not.
Arctic
yes. Oh,
improved quite a bit. Wow, excellent
wow, into
job.
the 40s. Yeah.
Yep. Tony.
And he was purple most of that lap, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. No, I mean that might be one of the biggest gaps we've seen in qualifying for a while.
Especially with these cars, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Quite the lap from Arctic.
Yep, and even Tony couldn't counter that right at the end, but we know he'll get quicker in the race. He's been following Arctic. He's seeing the lines he's doing.
And you know what?
And yeah, wow. I mean, that was a quick lap, but we know Arctic. These cars really suit him.
Yeah, he enjoys kind of chucking it around and finding that limit of grip and slip, and yeah, absolutely wild to see though.
Yep.
We may have to take a look at his build sheet, but
yeah, it's a touchy subject.
Arctic is someone who is pretty.
If he's that
honest.
quick, I don't think he needs to. I don't think he needs to change any settings on the build sheet.
No, no. I don't think so either. But yeah, Tony, both Tony and Delps in chat saying, "Wow, that's a wild time."
Yeah, he's running the Delp setup, I think.
Yeah.
The Delp special. That Delps is his engineer. No, I mean, wow, what a time. And these cars suit some drivers. We saw last week, Philo, he was struggling in this car. You put him in a GR3 car, he's a second quicker than everyone. And Arctic and Philo both on controllers. Both very quick, but this might just be a car and a style of driving that really suits Arctic. We have no fuel wear, we have no tire wear. It's a very different way of driving, different way of rotating the car. And some people struggle with it, but some people they've really come into their own. And Arctic's just, I mean, surprising us every race, even though we know he's quick.
Yeah. Tony Cal calling out in chat a Merino podium. Watch. That's
well, Tony's going to take out Arctic and Moose T1 then, and
he's going to have to take out Shino and Dopes at some point too. In that case.
Well, like we said, Marino's close to Shino. I think Marino can afford to be a little aggressive given how wide the track is, and that you can really throw it up the inside safely here. And yeah, hopefully drivers are going to do that within the rules, within the limits of safety. But I think this is a great track because you've got those slow corners, those traction zones, you've got fast straights, and you can really fight for positions here. You can really, but you're gonna jeopardize your race. You're gonna jeopardize. So Tony and Moose won't want to fight too much if they let Arctic run away. They're probably going to be hoping with the pace advantage Arctic just makes some mistakes. We know he's running wide. He might get dirty tires and then spin it. You never know.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to mention before is maybe some of the lines he's taking are obviously faster, but if they border on dangerous, it's a double-edged sword, I suppose. Let's see, Tony Cal saying, I think Marino has.
I think we can say that.
I'm just catching up on chat. Can we say that Paddle out-qualified Crispy? This man is doing it. He did, man. He did.
We can, yeah.
By,
maybe it's the car color.
About half a second. Maybe it's the car color. Yeah, maybe the lime green was just dragging him down, huh?
Yeah, he ditched the green. Yep.
And we'll be starting the race here soon in just a moment. So we're going to start a poll. So we're going to be looking out for Tony and Moose to keep up with Arctic. The moment you let Arctic get away, he's either going to pull away completely or maybe.
And we see Demon's behind Steezy. He's not going to be happy with that. He's going to try and put that right. And Marino's just got to fight here with Shino, and Delps was making quite a few mistakes. He span it on the last corner, went in the wall pretty hard. I mean, so we'll have to see. Marino could be on the podium, but
yeah, hey, anything's possible.
It's hard to say that anyone's going to catch the front three on pace, though. But Delps isn't too far off Moose this time.
No,
we got the race starting now, 10 seconds or so. 5.
Let's go. Yeah, we gotta wait for it to open up and spectate and then all that fun stuff. Alright, here we go. We're at the Red Bull Ring in Austria with the GR86. Keep an eye out on a few of these guys behind so we can maybe see any action going up to turn 1. The lights are coming up. Winters, take us through these first few corners as the lights come out, and we are racing.
Well, looks like Tony got slightly better start, but he's still behind. He's still behind Arctic. We're going to see he might try put it up the inside here. These next corners, they all flow together, so people are going to be going back and forth. It looks like Tony's done it, and Moose is really stuck up the inside there too. See if he can get a slipstream off them, and Delps is just going to hope one of them makes a mistake. Marino's made it inside of Shino, like we said. So he's playing aggressive. Maybe he got a better start, and we're going to see what happens here as Arctic's back in the lead already. So coming into turn 3 here, 3 wide. Back there we got Steezy trading places. Steezy went up the inside, but now Marino's got the place back. Steezy seems to be ahead of Shino. And long run down to turn 4.
Yeah, great moves by Steezy to be coming up from where he was, and he's trying to keep the fight in with them to see if he's able to come up to this next turn. And it looks like Moosman was going to have a run in on Tony, getting awfully close coming into this next one, but Arctic just looks like he's creating a gap.
Has he done it?
Run away.
I think he's done it actually. Moose has done it ahead of Tony coming out of the corner there.
He has.
And these guys are not going to want to fight. You see Delps is very close behind. Delps is in striking distance. Tony's getting squirrely. And Delps can't slow off because Marino's attacking him from behind. And this was an exciting start. We've got everyone up there. Maybe he could.
Goes
he really could.
Wide but catches it. Let's see here. And Shino's down to 7th. Unfortunate start for down to 8th now. So obviously they had a moment, and I think coming down that straight, Steez was able to maintain a bit more speed. Yeah,
him and Steezy swapping places back and forth there a bit too. I'm not too sure what's happening, but Delps is definitely looking like he wants to make a run on Tony, but we'll have to see. Delps isn't as aggressive as he used to be.
I think for good measure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're on board with Shino right now, who was trying to keep in touch with Steezy, but it looks like Steezy got a better exit out of turn 1 here. And that gap is climbing.
Carrying a lot more speed. You saw there Shino wasn't even really, I mean, there's a difference between the car bringing itself to the outside of the corner because you've taken so much speed, and then you just opening up the steering wheel and using all the track. So when, we say you got to use all the track, but that really means you're on the edge of the grip, not you're just driving edge to edge. And here we go, Delps and Tony side by side.
Rombo, Marino.
Look at this. And of course Tony's got the inside, but Delps is very wide there. I think you want to cut that corner quite a bit there. You can really cut that curb.
I think you can cut it, and then you kind of open up on the throttle to pull out, and then to the right side before this turn, right?
Oh, I thought Marino was going in the back of Delps.
That was awfully close. But Marino's got a great view of this fight right now between Delps and Tony Cal. You can see up ahead going into this next turn, the left-hander, that Moose has pulled the gap on Tony, and Arctic is trying to pull the gap on Moose.
Yeah, and I'm a bit surprised Tony's not able to keep up with them. Maybe, sometimes you just have one bad corner, 2 bad corners, and before you know it, you have a bad lap, and then you're under pressure, and you just don't feel comfortable in the car. You see it's a bit squirrely there, and it's very easily you can just lose your groove, and then it might take a lap or 2 to get back into it. And he knows he can't afford to let these guys pass behind him, and he knows they'll take any opportunity. And there's Moose with a very quick lap, 141.2. I think that's quicker than. Yeah. Well, like you said, we know he's gonna send it if he can, and this is just bad for Tony right now. Moose is doing fastest laps. Moose is in P2, and and the gap's just widening, and Tony will know that.
Yeah, we have a small pack of Tony, Delps, and Marino. Marino doing a fantastic job. I mean, he's obviously taking advantage of the fact of Delps. Oh, we get a bit of a bump there, maybe, or there may have been network lag there.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a bump. But you know, these guys, you know, none of us in here are the greatest drivers in the world. Sometimes you can bump them there, and we're probably over braking a bit. So, speed-wise, we're probably closer to the actual speed we should be taking the corner.
Real quick.
So often it works out.
While this is playing out, I want to see if it works. So let's see if we're able to. Nope, it didn't work. Oh, it did work.
Oh,
check this out.
It worked.
Amazing. So this is the beginning of the race here. You can see, and we're just keeping our eyes once again. See exactly what happened here to Arctic. Looks like Tony Cal had the inside line going into turn 1, and he managed
to keep an eye on
Steezy
in the back too, if you can, because he made an overtake here, didn't he? I believe.
Yep. Yeah, he had a great run on Shino.
And he got past both of them in the braking zone. I think he just nosed ahead about here, and then Marino took the corner back. He goes up to 5th momentarily, and then he's very kind to Marino, letting Marino back through.
Yeah, but he almost kind of blocked Shino, I'd say.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, lap 1, I guess we're a bit more lenient, but
Oh, flashbang here on the screen. As we come back
there you go.
to the live action with Steezy and Demon and Shino behind him. This just looks like the fight for third right now with Tony, Delps, Marino. And that's exactly what it is. You can see them up ahead still fighting. Behind, let's just check in on our, I don't want to call them back markers, but Paddle and Crispy. Paddle up in 9th where he started. Only 2.5 seconds up on Crispy in 10th.
Yeah, and Crispy at the end of last season was showing some decent improvement. I don't want to say he's backslided, but maybe he's watching the Daytona 24 at the moment on his phone while driving.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I think...
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest with you. But we'll jump back up front with Marino, Delps, and Tony Cal. And, I mean, this is a hard spot to be in, man, if you're Tony Cal. He's still in third, I guess. So, but when you got two guys breathing down your neck for, I mean, we're 4 laps in, but it feels like for Tony, I'm sure it feels like it's been a bit longer than that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure because he seemed like he was picking up the pace in Quali, but there you go. A 42.7 is a pretty decent time for Marino, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not
No, I mean, we thought the 42. Remember the first Quali laps? Tony, Arctic, and Moose put in were 142.5s to 142.7s, I think. And then of course Arctic goes down to a 148 somehow.
Some way he manages to find it.
Yeah.
I'm just catching up on chat. Ryan's been giving us his own commentary as we're going through. He goes, Steezy had to park it on the apex, taking it so tight, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe that was turn 2?
Turn 3. Well, it looks like 2. Yeah. I hate the fact they call it turn 3. It should be turn 2, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we can call it turn 2.
We make our own laps here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing about that corner too, very easy to over brake, and that corner you sort of want to just come off the brake and just throw it in the apex, and Steezy definitely over braked there.
Yep.
But he did have a tight line, but you know, that's a corner where I think when you're finding lap time, when you're doing time trials, you really learn to come off the brakes and just carry more speed through that corner, because it's uphill. You're compressing the suspension. You can get away with more speed than you think through there, and you can eat quite a bit of the curb.
Yeah.
Although later in the manufacturing race, you don't want to go anywhere near that curb, and you don't want to unsettle the rear when you get back on the power. And
yeah, we have rain for the manufacturing series later on.
Shino and Demon side by side there.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of door banging. This is a tricky corner. You can really run it wide here and get it wrong, but it looks like they're showing each other.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to talk over you. Shino, I think, was ahead of Demon too, and he just had a mistake, and Demon's driving well at this point in time. So he's right on the
before, but I remember, I think Shino also had a mistake and went down to 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is him coming back through now. I'm not too sure, but it's exciting seeing them side by side. And they're giving each other a decent amount of room, but these are small cars, big track, and yeah. Looks like Shino's probably made it stick. I think he's got the pace advantage.
Yeah, I think
he's doing a 42.6, so he should be up there with Marino, really.
I'm I'm not sure who Delps is talking about in chat. He bumped me.
Let's see here.
Place back.
I'm not too sure who that is, and sadly we're not stewards.
Marino,
but
I guess Marino took fourth from him, so maybe that's what he's talking about.
Marino must be listening to the stream, me telling him to be more aggressive.
Marino,
look at that.
Taking the outside line though that we see.
Well,
from our
Delp's been very aggressive back, making Marino go wide, but that's okay. It's exciting for us. We'll see here though, they're very close on. And if it was the bump, I think it was into what we call turn 3, but it should be turn 2. I think that was fair. I don't think he went wide, unless there was another one more egregious we didn't see. And I know there's been a position change, so it could have been. But Delps is back now, so
yeah, I'm not sure.
It looks like
it looks like maybe there's a bit of contact going into turn 4, and I don't know if Marino just backed out or what the situation was.
He's got dirty tires. He's losing quite a bit of time, and he's running wide there. Yeah, I think he's got dirty tires.
He must have hit the gravel.
Well, can we do a replay back to see that? If you do it right now with the longer time?
I cannot, unfortunately. I would have had to mark it at that point in time.
You can't mark it now and then go back, or?
No. If I marked it now, it would just show replay right this second.
It wouldn't. Oh, okay. I can't remember how far back you can.
Up to 15 seconds.
Oh, 15 is max. Okay. Yeah, we'll probably have to look at that after the race. See what happens with Marino there.
Yeah, that was lap 6.
Yeah. We'll see. Just hopefully Marino keeps his cool now. He's got the pace to be there, but he's down in 7th. He's not going to be happy with that. Something I didn't quite see. Was he pushed wide on T4?
Yeah, T4 was.
He went on the gravel? Because he definitely looked like he had dirty tires. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened there. He was on the outside.
I saw them
turn 4, and Delps was on the inside. And I think there may have been
I saw them bump a bit, but I didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see what happened after that.
Let's see. Where are the rest of our guys? So we got Shino trying to catch Steezy in 5th. Marino obviously has the pace, and we know he's going to be trying to catch these guys again. Steezy looks like he may be throwing a bit of gravel around, but nothing too crazy just yet. Chino, though, is getting awfully close on Steezy. Chino's going to be looking to get past here sooner rather than later, I think. He's tired of seeing the rear end of this Milwaukee GR86.
Oh, and that's very wide. It's like a Touge race through there. He's playing a personal best lap time, though, so he's definitely finding his groove.
Ryan's asking who's behind Marino. Demon.
It's Demon.
Is in 8th place. We have Pato holding down 9th very well. He's in no man's land. He's doing hot laps currently. And,
looks like Crispy's had a moment or something.
Crispy probably had a moment, and unfortunately for him, he's 40 seconds behind now. But
and 1 minute 10 seconds off. He won, so.
Oh, and here we go.
Oh,
into the gravel again.
Oh dear.
Ryan, my pixels are not illegible. Yeah, that 160 man. We jump back up front. We'll just see how these guys are going. Arctic currently 4.5, almost 5 seconds ahead of Moose in 2nd.
Yeah.
So this is what we said might happen, and certainly is happening. If we jump on board with Arctic to see his lap times, that consistency, man, is very, very nice to see.
Yeah, and he's gotten close to his quickest quali time, so it wasn't a fluke, or it wasn't just purely because of having a draft or a toe, because he doesn't have a toe out here, and he's going quicker than anyone.
Yeah, he's going absolutely rapid. Moose also being very consistent for the most part, a little bit slower the last 2 laps, but I mean still 141s and low 142s is. He's pulling the gap still on Tony Kelly. He's about 4 seconds ahead. Yeah,
and we haven't been watching these guys the last few laps. They could have had a couple mistakes here and there, just the kind of mistakes where you lose a second or 2. And because Tony's also, he doesn't seem to be able to keep up with them at the moment, although I think his pace and Moose's have sort of plateaued around the same perhaps, because they're maintaining that gap.
Yeah, I mean, Tony's going to have to, if Tony wants to get it above 3rd, he's going to have to hope that Moose makes a mistake and that he has the most consistent next 16 minutes of his life, basically. He puts up a 140.7, taking fastest lap away from Arthur.
Wow. Well,
Wow.
there you go. That's a lot quicker than his other laps if you look at those. I mean, and Tony doesn't have a toe either, so that was purely on merit.
Yeah.
That was a blistering lap time, and he must have just had a funny few laps. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you can get hot-headed, or you can lose focus. You're having to defend, and next thing you know, you're slow.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, well, he also had quite a few laps where he was fighting with, he was trying to keep Delps and Marino behind as well. So, obviously you're not going your optimal pace there as well when you have to worry about defending and fighting and maybe getting a bit of, trading pain with a few of the guys. So, understandable.
Yeah,
he's got 2 seconds now between himself and Delps, so hopefully he can put his head down.
Yeah, and we're coming up on the halfway point of the race, so I mean, Tony does have the time to catch up the guys at the front. Or they just need to make a mistake here or there.
Yep.
Dip a tire in the grass, too much Astro, get some dirty tires, you lose 2 seconds. And so we'll see how that goes.
Go deep at turn 1, have to turn around.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Arctic and Moose will see Tony posting a fastest lap, and they'll know they'll have to push their pace. They might push too hard, and we'll have to see.
That's true as well. We are currently looking at the fight for 5th, though I'd argue it's more so a fight for 6th at the moment between Steezy and Marino. Marino finally passed Steezy a couple corners ago, I believe, and is now setting his targets on Nino in the John Deere livery. And I mean, they're awfully close together. Again, Marino looks like he's got pace today, man. And obviously, we know
Marino. Yeah, Marino deserves that place. I mean, we saw him and Delps. They sort of probably bullied each other off the track. We don't know what Marino did, and Delps probably gave him a taste of what he felt was his own medicine. Whether that's right or wrong, we'll probably see at the end of the race. I wouldn't be surprised if Marino at least looks at the replay. And maybe Delps too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But man, we were looking here. Those Steezy's
up on him
easy
there
for Marino at all. No. Steezy, I think, qualified.
Oh, Steezy's switch back there. He's got the place, I think.
Very nice job. But now Marino's going to have slip. He's going to have the toe coming down the turn.
Yeah, and this must be frustrating, Marino. I really hope Marino can keep his head cool and just try and get past, try and put in the laps he knows he can. You always got to try drive calm.
Yeah. I think Marino for the most part is someone who I imagine he's mostly pretty calm-headed. I think obviously we all get upset from time to time, but I like to think that Marino knows when he's got to calm himself down if he needs to.
So, and Delps there saying you can't see. Well, I don't know if that's because the sun's so low, maybe. You can see a lot of sun reflecting off the cars.
Yeah, he said earlier, can someone turn off the sun? Yeah, it's bright, man.
So he's lost about a second from Tony from the last time we saw, but he is 7 seconds ahead of the rest, so... And there's not a whole lot of time to catch up, so, if the guys behind him can put in, half a second a lap quicker, maybe they'll catch him by the last lap, but... Doesn't look like they are.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, they might be now.
He's done exactly what we said would happen. He's spun it off the track again and hit the wall.
Commentator curses. Shino glides on by. Steezy and Marino fly on by.
And I have to say, there must be a little smile on Marino's face as he comes up on the inside of Steezy to try take that place back. And Steezy, we'll see if he can defend it, but it looks like he's lost the position. And Marino now, he's gonna really want to try get that 4th place back, which he will rightfully feel is his. And Delps is going to be beating himself up a lot and be trying to catch up too. He's not too far behind. I'm surprised he didn't lose more time than that. He's still ahead of Demon. It looks like he did a full 360 on the grass. So
Demon may have had a moment himself though.
We didn't see his rejoin. He did have. I have to say, his rejoin in qualifying was arguably unsafe, but he's not too far back.
I don't know if this replay is going to work or not, but let's see if it's far back enough. Yeah, it was too far gone already. It was too far gone already. We'll go back to live, please.
Is there a key you can hit to? There we go. Just cancel it.
I had to hit the same key I hit to go back. So
was it Z? Or
yeah. We're learning here,
Okay.
folks. We're
learning the new tech.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's exciting. I like the replay, and when you do the replay, can you change? You can't change who you're watching, can you?
You can. You can. I
You
believe.
can. Oh,
Yeah.
so it's via the actual it's via the spectating app.
It is, and it's by car. So, like, let's say I hit a key and I want to watch Demon for a certain place. Before I watch the replay, I want to go back to Demon, and then I hit the view replay button. Otherwise, it'll show
that was cutting.
Someone else. That was
Cut
cutting.
the corner there, didn't it?
But yeah, I think Demon sees a potential for P7, and he's hungry for it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna, maybe be driving a bit more aggressively than he wants to be, because he sees a car ahead of him now.
Oh yeah. And don't do that in the manual race. You'll lose your car.
Oh, forget about it. That's gonna be a race to forget.
I wonder how many of these guys are gonna forget not to use the curbs.
Yeah, after being so used to it for this entire race, basically.
Yeah, and it's so hard because you want to use all the track, and the second you hit the white line, you can spin.
Yep. Yeah.
I think some of these cars too, the rears are probably a bit wider than the front, so you think you're okay, and your rear left's on a white line.
One thing I noticed in during practice for the Manu series, I noticed, I think in the final turn where you're kind of going down in the bank, I was almost using that green to help rotate the car going down to the main straight. I don't know if it was right or not, but it felt like it was a bit better than just braking on wet asphalt and going wide.
So this section here, the green here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's quicker. I mean, I don't know if you remember that blistering Quali lap, the pole lap, where Lewis Hamilton, I think, was almost 1.5 seconds ahead of the field at the Styrian Grand Prix in, was it 2020? And he used that part of the track. For me, learning the lines, I went back and watched that just because probably one of the greatest wet weather qualifying laps you've ever seen in Formula One, and it was and the lines he takes in that, I think, are the same you take in the race later today.
Okay.
And he does cut across there where you said. But in game, for me, I lost the car doing it a couple times, so I decided against it.
Right. Well, that makes sense. If it's like we said, a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, and you can get away with it maybe on wet tires at the start if you've run wide and you want to keep your speed. Do that on slicks as the track's dying, and you'll pirouette off into the next turn. You'll never get it stopped, and I think I spent about 10 times doing that.
Talk about a double-edged sword, man. Steezy and Marino have been fighting this entire time, which allowed Yoshino to drive by, but also allowed Delps to catch up, and has now passed Steezy. Excuse me, Marino up to 5th, but he sees Delps in his rearview mirror. I'm gonna try and go back to this pass real quick, see if this works this time. Where we could just see going down to turn 4, Delps maybe pushing Steezy a bit wide.
Yeah, maybe he ran him too wide there. I mean, I think Delps is probably frustrated. I just hope Delps doesn't do the old Delps, and now he's back up to his rival Marino. Hopefully, if he attempts a pass, it's a safe one. We
cut back.
missed a position change.
We cut back and see exactly what just happened. So yeah, I mean, Marino's gonna be trying his best to run away from these guys, right? He does not want any parts of Delps in his rearview mirror, and he's gonna hope that Steezy can fight him as well as he fought Marino.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where one driver sets a precedent with an aggressive move, the other one does one back. You have a bit of door banging before you know it. That's just status quo for these three. So you might see a bit of that, but Delps maybe not the best corner there, but Steezy's lost the race, so we might get close enough by the end of the straight.
We'll keep our eyes on it. I mean, less than 7 minutes to go. These positions are coming up short, so I feel like we may end up seeing some desperate moves here from the drivers as time is coming out, but hopefully everything keeps respectable. Yeah. Steezy trying to outbrake Marino, goes on the inside, ends up going wide though. Here's the decision back to Delps, now up in 6th. Marino is not going to be happy about that. Once again, let's see if we can cut to that.
Yeah, I think Steezy there had too strong a toe. You saw Steezy had he just too far off, and Steezy's going to have dirty tires now, so Demon might even get close to him.
He may, as we check up on that right now. He's about a second off and gaining, though.
Yeah. Looks like he lost 4 seconds from Delps there.
Absolutely brutal for Steezy, who was fighting for his life, but I mean with Marino the entire race, and is now back down to 7th.
And there we saw Delps couldn't keep up with Steezy and Marino on the straight, and I think Steezy has such a strong toe, probably didn't realize that he needed to brake a bit sooner.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that being the case. I wouldn't doubt it at all. We see Demon now half a second between himself and Steezy's. Demon's got to be able to keep his keep in the toe, and if he's going to be able to make anything happen within these last 5 minutes of the race or so, you know, he's going to have to be driving very clean for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, and the other thing is you know, we talk about some of the aggressive moves before. You had Delps throw it up the inside, and he really did force him off the track, and you know, Steezy's not going to want that to happen a lap later, so maybe he breaks a little deep because of it, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
And we got Delps coming up on Marino now. We're going to see what he does, because we know Delps is probably going to want to just chuck it up the inside here.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit better this time,
I don't think he should be sticking his nose in there. I do it sometimes, but I always feel a bit bad when I do it.
If it's worked 3 times, though, I don't see why he wouldn't do it again, right?
I mean, that there's very aggressive. You're unsettling the car in front. You're not pit maneuvering them, but it's you know, you're losing a lot of time. Like they're 6/10 down.
Yeah. Would you also maybe give that to Marino, though? Was there anything that Marino could have done there to maybe push Delps a bit further in before that turn?
No, I mean, no, because you don't want to compromise your line too much there, because then you lose it into the next corner. So I think Delps was okay. Sorry, Marino. Marino went very wide there, though. I bet that's dirty tires.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it isn't. To see Delps going to have a massive run here on
I think
Marino.
he's got dirty tires. Had to go pretty slow through that last corner, and we got 4 minutes, so we only have a few laps left. But what, 3 laps?
Yeah, about.
Marino on the outside, but Marino, maybe the tires are they'll be good by now though. And you know, if I was Marino, I stay behind for this corner, get the toe, stand it on the inside in the next corner, and run Delps wide. I mean, that's the precedent they've set.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would just try and optimize my get on the throttle early here. This is pretty nice. He could have carried a bit more speed, but maybe he slowed a bit too much there.
Let's see here. Yeah, because he's not close enough really to make a move here, unfortunately.
No. And that's really where you roll off the brake a little bit more than you need to. But that's a really good line through there. I always think that early apex is pretty good there.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Let's see, the time is slowly coming down, but actually it's getting down.
Yeah.
You know? It's really hard to tell through this section. It's hard, you know. There's a few different lines people like to take, I guess.
Yeah, and I think neither of them taking great lines there. I think you want to use that curve on the inside for rotation. I think you want to use this curve on the inside for rotation. I think they're not running optimal lines, so you know they can both fix that. And I know Delps is listening to me, so maybe Delps will. But
let's see if Marino goes wide here again at the penultimate corner.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he maintains a bit closer now. Yeah, that looks a bit closer to what we want to see.
They're a bit even there.
Nice job.
Delps had some nice rotation. I mean, Marino had pretty decent last corner there. The rotation really good.
Yeah, and these guys are gonna have 2 laps left remaining. If you want to jump back real quick, see how Steeman's doing, and he's about the same distance. And you know, again, he's got to do the same thing that Marino's got to be doing with Delps, basically, and just trying to maintain that closeness for the next couple of laps. If we do jump up front with our race leaders to see what's going on, more or less the same from what we saw a handful of laps ago. Arctic is now 7 seconds ahead. Moose
very odd.
6 seconds.
But look at Moose's times. They're a second slower than Tony. Tony should have been able to catch up by now. Unless he's had he's had a few very slow laps. I don't really understand how he put in a 40.7. Then look at that. He's 42.1s.
And that was without a toe.
Super consistent, but super slow.
Very interesting.
Very strange. I don't know if he has a problem. Maybe if maybe you have to change the controller or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's very odd times, though.
Unfortunate to see for Tony. I mean, he's had a lonely race since Dubs fell back. He's had a very lonely race, and you know, he just hasn't been able to manage the hot lap pace that he wants to get out of his car. 142.1 coming out now.
Again, he's just plateauing at that exact time. I have to say I don't really understand. It's like how many 142.1s has he done now? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 more times within a tenth.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan saying Tony's washed.
I don't really know. I don't know how to explain it really.
No, I'm a bitch. It has to come down to the lines. I feel like, or maybe it's the how strong you're getting back on the gas. Gas. I'm not too sure. If
I'm not sure.
Spinning out at all a bit, but I mean, even Moose, yeah, with 141s.
He could just. He might just be happy with 3rd place now, and he's practicing his wet lines for the race.
Hey, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because that's a hell of a race, dude, man.
I'd be very happy with 142s in the torrential downpour that we're about to have.
Yep.
So final lap when we're gonna have to probably make a run for it, even as the race is over.
Yeah, basically we'll have to be jumping back in. We are rounding the final corner here with Arctic commanding and dominating this race, though. An 8-second lead as he crosses the start-finish line in 1st place. Moose is going to be coming up behind him in 2nd.
Yeah.
We'll cut back to Tony in 3rd. Chino finishing 4th after falling back to 9th place. Had a great return race. Let's see how Delps is doing here. Delps and Marino. Marino's a second behind. Very close here. Closer than it looks like maybe Demon on Steezy behind them. We'll have to see what happens with Marino. Is Marino going to be able to have anything happen? Is Delps going to make a mistake here or not? We'll see. I don't think so, though. I think this might be Delps' finish. And it looks like it is. He's going to cross the finish line in 5th. Marino's going to be taking home 6th place. We'll jump back with Steezy and Demon. Demon is a bit too far off of Steezy. He's taking home 7th and Demon taking home 8th. And then our resident Zug Zugger, the Liquid Deathman himself, the Lime Green Demon, Haddo, will be taking home 9th. Looks like Crispy finished a lap behind. He'll be taking 10th. And Paddle's just got to get this car across the finish line, and he'll be taking home 9th place.
And fastest lap from Tony. I won't take that away from him. That's an incredible lap. No idea where he pulled that from. That's a great lap. I know he'll be a bit disappointed about the overall pace. Very consistent, but unfortunately, not on pace with his fastest lap, which if he'd kept up, he would have been up there, maybe overtaking Moose at the end. And but he'll be looking to right that in the next race here as we're going to Manufacture Series.
Yeah, I'm sure. Tony Cal jumping in chat saying, "What a boring race." Yeah, man, there was a lot of that.
And I have to say, well done, Arctic. Didn't make any mistakes. Well done, Chino, for having a great comeback drive there. He had a couple of mistakes, went down to 8th, 9th place early on, lost places to Marino at the start, Steezy, Demon, and I believe maybe Delps at one point. And now he's finishing in P4. He can be happy with that, especially as his pace is slower than the cars he finished ahead of.
Yeah, no, I think Chino had a fantastic race overall. Good recovery race. I'm honestly I'm proud of Pato for the race that he put up as well. I mean, didn't have a lot of screen time, but managed to keep the car on track and finish up 9th.
And a nice quiet race from Moose. I mean, can't take that away from him either. He just put in lap after lap. I'm sure it was a bit boring for him, but we had other cars to watch, and we had some fun racing back behind him.
We did.
And we probably will look at some of the events and overtakes between Delps and Marino. I know they're both probably going to have some strong opinions on them. We'll have a look. Maybe they'll make for some good highlight reels. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And hopefully we'll be making some highlight reels for the next race, which is the Manufacturer Series. I know you've got to run and get on your sim and get your PS4 booted up, so go ahead and do that. It was great having you, as always, is becoming a regular here. I appreciate you, man.
Oh no, sorry, I was reading the fight kicking off in the chat between Delps and Marino, which we'll report back on. But for now, we have to run. And pleasure being here with you, and thanks for having me. And hopefully this race coming up, is going to be a tough one. Who knows what strategies people are going to pull. I'm a little worried but excited. I just got to keep it on the track, and I hope you do too.
That's all I'm looking to do, man. If I can finish on track and finish ahead of last, I'll take it. But thank you everyone for joining us for today. I know it's a short stream. Be on the lookout for highlights from our menu race today on YouTube, maybe within the next week or so. But of course, we always post VODs from every race there as well. And we will see you next weekend. You know what? I'll keep the track a secret because I don't know what it is at the top of my mind, and I need to go.
I think it's Autopolis, is it?
I think it's
Autopolis in Japan, which is a race we haven't done since MX5, so that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
And Arctic was very strong there too. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Brian, have a safe flight, my man. We will we'll catch everyone next weekend. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks.